Cool. So we're going to talk to Mariaan today about her journey. So I've known Mariaan through a couple of my online women's circles, which she's attended, and then of course I had her on Facebook, and I was having a look one day and saw her pop up in my feed, and she's a personal trainer, which I didn't know, and she was working with women in perimenopause and menopause. So yeah, I was just excited to connect because obviously you've got a bit of a passion behind that with of why you moved into
Oh,
specifically
oh,
women
yes,
in perimenopause or
absolutely.
menopause. Yeah. So what
Yes,
kicked you off into that
absolutely.
journey? Mm.
Oh, that is such a big journey. I think women's hormones start when they actually teenagers. Hey, they sort of warn you about the teenage phase with the girls, and and then it kicks off, and then once you have a baby, and then perimenopause is almost like we get sort of scared into our hormones really. And I've been in the fitness industry since I was literally a teenager, 14. I was qualified as a aerobics instructor back in the day with leg warmers and G-string on top and all those things. So um literally been in the fitness industry for a very, very long time. But recently, what got me into it really was I had my vaccine in 2020, when all that stuff happened with COVID and everything. And I got the first vaccine and I started getting really, really sick. And didn't think anything of it, and I sort of declined a little bit, and then got my second vaccine. And through all of that, I was working in an industry where I couldn't really take breaks or anything either, so it was a very high stress. So I didn't have time for my fitness stuff, didn't have time for sort of making time for me to de-stress and all of that. But so I kept working, got all the vaccines and everything, and then I got COVID. And in the entire household, I was the only one that got knocked for a six.
Mm,
Um, like just completely knocked over. And it's taken me a very, very long time to recover from that.
mm,
And in hindsight, I realized that I didn't keep up with my fitness industry, my fitness routine. I didn't keep up with my weight routine like I used to, because I haven't been sick. I never get sick
yeah.
until 2 years ago. And so in my journey getting better, I've realized, and then all the doctors said, well, you're in perimenopause, don't worry about it. And all these things are starting to happen to my body because I'm in my 40s, obviously. And so they didn't know if it was COVID and whether it's menopause. And so we've realized that it is perimenopause in that phase, and it can go on for a very, very long time.
Mm,
And I kind of, as I'm getting better and as I'm getting fitter and as I'm getting stronger again, realize that my menopause, my perimenopause, and all those symptoms are getting less and less.
mm,
My periods were irregular. My then I would have it 2 months later. I wouldn't, and then it was completely just random. I would get migraines, and then I wouldn't. I would brain fog, and then it would go.
mm,
Um, Crying at the weirdest things, just all of a sudden, just random stuff. Or I would wake up very angry with my hubby for some unknown reason. And he would just go, okay, I'll leave you alone. I'm very sorry. And he would disappear for the day because my hormones were just a complete mess.
mm,
And through all of that, I realized that I need to do something. And I know from your body that you can actually heal and you can actually control your hormones to a certain extent. And as I got fitter, like I said, my joint pain disappeared. My periods are regular,
mm,
on spot, on point every month. No more headaches, no more sicknesses. If I do get a sniffle, I get over it like that. Um, because your body can control, as you get fitter and as you get stronger, your body releases all those hormones, and it fights as your bones get stronger. And us women don't tend to lift weight, and as you get strong, your immune system is built in your bones, and you get stronger, and you can fight all those viruses, you can fight all those systems, and all the hormones get, it's almost like it flows better. It's almost like a highway system, and your hormones get just, it runs smoother. The insulin levels, your glucose levels, your dopamine, all those little things, it just functions better. And in that, you got your body, it makes your body stronger in order to cope with all these things that it's going to go through. And I'm not saying that women aren't going to go through that. Of course we are. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got this wonderful gift of bearing children and having periods and all of that kind of thing. And if we make our bodies strong in order to do that, it will be stronger going through all of these stresses that we're putting it through. And I have realized that even with all the COVID stuff, even with all that stuff, the stronger I become, the better I become at dealing with all of these
Mm.
things as well. And that's what drove me into this passionate thing of helping women as well, because I know it can be done. I know I've helped other women. I've got about 6 other ladies that I'm training at the moment, and we're just fighting, and we're getting them fitter, and they getting stronger and better, and mindset is changing. And because it's all the myokines get released, and it makes it releases brain neurotropic factor into your brain. It's like a fertilizer, and that spreads through your body. And so it's just, this whole thing just
Mhm.
bulldozes into just a better system.
Mm.
And it helps women, and it's not just for women, it's men.
Mm.
Men struggle as well, and that their testosterone levels drop, and all these hormone changes and everything. And it helps
Yeah.
humans be stronger in order to deal with all these changes.
Yeah.
So that's my journey, and that's how I got to where I am. And a brief, in a little snippet, um there's just so much more that we can delve into. So it depends. If fire me questions and I can see,
Yeah.
answer. And yeah,
Yeah,
there's
well, no,
just
that's just beautiful.
much.
I mean, I can see your your passion coming through that like, really strongly, and it was just making me think of, because I've struggled with I guess body image, weight, and exercise, like a lot of my life, and I feel like this time of our life is almost like what choices are we going to make now as we're moving into that second half of our life? Like, am I going to continue all of the patterns that I've played out up to now, or am I going to make new choices? And yeah, what are they going to be? What are they going to look like? And why am I doing them? So, and the last lady I spoke to, she spoke to, she might have done exercise in the past for her looks, and she's going to go to a party, and or something like that. Whereas as we're moving into here, we're perhaps starting to look at, well, I actually want to move. I want to be able to move and sit on the floor and do these things as obviously I still can do all those things now, but you start
100%.
to think,
Yeah, yeah.
that, that
And
these, yeah.
there's so many questions in there, and there's so many points to catch on with everything you've just said. So going back, exercise for looks and all of that, that is absolutely a byproduct.
Mm.
Um, I love food. I love to eat. I love my chocolate every night, and I have a little bit every night, and I don't deprive myself at all. Um, and I don't believe in exercising for hours and hours and hours on stop, because that's what we've been taught.
Mm.
We've been taught you have to go to a 45-minute class 4 times a week. What mum in today's life have even the time to do that, or even the energy to start thinking about stuff like that?
Yeah.
Nobody's got time for that. So unless you enjoy doing that 4 times, 5 times a week, absolutely go for it. But I if you want to rev up your metabolism, you have to really, really go hard, really, really go fast, really lift heavy. And it takes 10 seconds to do
Mm.
that. And what happens is you rev up your metabolism, and by revving up your metabolism, you burn fat faster. And by burning fat faster, a result and an absolute bonus result of that is you start looking better. Your bones, your skin, your nails, your hair glows, you start losing fat around your body. You become stronger because your muscle burn fat faster. Those are just like little bonus cherry on tops.
Yeah.
All the other healthy bits that you go through. And for me, the most important bit is your brain is the stuff that gets the neurotransmitters, the neuro things that happen in your brain with exercise. It actually renews, and it renews your mindset and renews the way you think. And with the positive mindset and the because it releases all the dopamines, the endorphins, the epinephrine, and all those good hormones that makes your brain better. And for
Mm.
me, at the end of the day, I want to be as healthy as I possibly can physically, 100%, but my brain manages all of this stuff.
Mm.
So that for me is the most important. I exercise for all of that. So all the rest of it is almost like a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting up, like you said, from sitting on the floor and playing with the kids and going up and go, rightio, let's go kick a ball, and being able to do that without any pain, or building a puzzle, or still helping them with math homework at the end of the day, and my brain goes, help with English maybe. So, but and that kind of stuff is really important. But the brain and the mental factor at the end of the day, for me, is just absolute bonus from exercise. And it doesn't take long. It takes 10 seconds. You
Mm.
can have a full body, hard puffing workout in 4 minutes tops a day.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do hour-long workouts. And that'll get you fit, and that'll get you fit fast, and that'll get you keep going. And I'm sure I've mentioned before, I've got a mentor. She's close to 70.
Mm.
She's run just, I think, like 30 marathons, and she's never trained for a marathon until all her life.
Mm.
She does 10-second fast exercises. She like literally she'll get puffed for 10 seconds. It would take as long as you want to recover and go again. She looks like she's 30. She walks around in bikini still. She's absolutely magnificent. She just remembers everything, and she just keeps going.
Mm.
And you kind of go, okay, well, what have you done to do that? And this is everything.
Mm.
10 seconds, the phosphate system. What happens is you've got two sort of muscle fibers in your body. You've got your slow twitch muscle fibers, which I'm sure you've heard of, and your
Yeah.
fast twitch muscle fibers, which is your fast ones. So what happens as you grow older is, because we sit, what muscles do we use? Your slow twitch muscle fibers. When we walk to the shop, what muscles do we use? Your slow twitch muscle fibers. When we lie on the couch, slow twitch muscle fibers. What muscle fibers keep us alive, keep us disease free, keep our brains function, keep us moving, our muscles burning fat faster, our metabolic rate, what muscle fibers fastens that up? Those are the fast twitch muscle fibers. And then
Mm.
you have to go, okay, well, what happens over a period of time? So from the age of 20, you lose a half pound of muscle fibers a year. So it just, if you don't work to maintain or keep it, you're going to lose it.
Mm.
You know, that old saying of, if if you don't use it, you lose it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happens with muscle fibers. And unfortunately, with the fast twitch muscle fibers, if you don't use it, you're definitely going to lose it. And that's when after we've had kids, you work, you stress, you cook, you clean, you do school function, you all of that, and the end of the day, you're so tired, you just go and sit down,
Mm.
but you never actually develop those fast twitch muscle fibers. So if you just take 10 seconds or 40 seconds, do 10 seconds 4 times a day, you start with that and you go as hard and fast as possible as you can for that 10 seconds, and then you go and sit down on the couch, you've done more than the rest of the population out there. And
Yeah.
exactly. And you've covered off, okay, I'm fighting diseases today with my body. I'm getting stronger. I'm developing my fast twitch muscle fibers. The problem is, what we do is you can't go 100% puffed if you're not strong. So you have to lift heavy stuff.
Mm.
There's no question about it. You can't do the 100% huffy puffy stuff if you don't lift heavy stuff, because you need to be strong. You can't go huffy puffy if you're weak.
Yeah.
How do you get strong? You lift heavy water bottles. You fill up, I don't know, baskets full of baked bean cans and carry them around. You don't have to go to a gym. You can have a wheelbarrow and put the kids in the wheelbarrow and push them around and make it a game. You don't have to go to a gym to
Mm.
get those things, to get your body really, really moving and really huffing, puffing and getting strong. Like literally, I train people in my home studio. I literally have a wheelbarrow and I put stuff in it and we push it around. I literally do that because it's just to show people you do not need a gym to get
Mm.
stronger, because most people are so scared of a gym, and it's not about being a gym. It's not going to a gym. It's about lifting heavy stuff.
Mm.
Fill a back bag up with water bottles if you want to, and go fast on the spot for 10 seconds if you can with that on. It's going to
Yeah.
get you buffed, yeah.
Yeah.
And what I've done with my kids as well, we might actually make it a game, and they're teenagers, and now they actually go to the gym themselves. So it just teaches your kids as well. It's good to look after your body. It's good to um, here's something. You
Yeah.
brush your teeth for 2 minutes a day. That's what
Mm.
2 minutes twice a day. That's what the specialists say, the dentists say that you need to do. Okay.
Mm.
Why don't we do that with our bodies?
Yeah.
Why aren't we teaching our kids do that with your body? Because that is literally all it takes.
Mm.
2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, or 2 minutes broken, or 4 minutes broken up to the rest of the day. That's 4 minutes a day.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? Yeah, and our brains
Yeah,
can almost not comprehend that that could be true. Like you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
really? Would that really make, yeah, that big
exactly.
difference? But yeah,
Yeah. And
it's
and that's
interesting.
that's unfortunate. If you go look at all the science, and so there's so I mean, if you go look at science, you can find just about any piece of science research to back up whatever you wanted to
Yeah,
back up, really.
yeah, yeah,
But if you start learning about the body and learning how it works, um, and and people often say to me that they want to get fit. And my question is always, fit for what? Because
mm,
if you just want to be fit for health, but 4 minutes a day, that's all you need. If you want to go run a marathon, same concept. We're just going to squeeze in a few little extra ones in there if that's
mm,
what you want. But the same concept applies. That is exactly how I got fit in my last year.
mm,
I don't teach this without
yeah,
actually practicing it. I
yeah,
don't have time for all these workouts. I squeeze it in where I can. I love squeezing it in
mm,
because it means I can go really, really hard at really high intensity, and I get very fit fast, and I don't have to spend hours in the gym.
yeah,
Especially we've had a couple of beautiful days lately, and my partner loves to go spend hours in the gym, and I go, okay, well, see ya. I'm going to go enjoy the day because I
yeah,
haven't done a workout. And I can still run 5K if I really, really have to, and I did that the other day. I actually quite surprised myself. I ran more than 5K because I'm fit enough to do that.
Mm.
at the little bits I do constantly.
Yeah.
And I just smashed out a 6K run. So
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. And um so how do you find your, because you were saying how you know, you had quite a lot of um you know, things going on in your body that were
Yep.
possibly perimenopause
Yep.
going on, and then you've got fit and, you know, feeling so much better. Have you found that that's really obviously affected your mental, your emotional, psychological function as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I really started going through that whole I started getting, man, if you go list down the list, there's a whole list of perimenopause symptoms. If you have you seen that list? There's like 100
oh yeah,
things on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It never stops. And
Mm,
I'm talking about brain fog. I couldn't remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
mm,
Um, like literally, I would switch my kids' names around. I'm like, what am I doing? I would say things. I went for tests. This is literally what happened. The doctors thought I was having mini strokes. And I went, you are kidding me. I
mm,
can't have mini strokes. And said, well, that's the only logical explanation of what you're going through with these things you're saying, because I'm saying things and I don't realize what I'm actually saying. For
yeah,
example, um, my partner and I were playing darts in the little back room, and I said to him, I'm gonna go and get something and or feed the cats or something. And I came back and I fed the cats. And he said, well, where's the chocolate? And I went, what do you mean, where's the chocolate? He goes, you said you're going to go and get some chocolate and then you're going to come back as a snack. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I went to go feed the cats. And he goes, what? That is not what you said. So things like that, just
mm,
I thought I was going insane, like
yeah,
literally. And I was still going through all these things with, I thought it was maybe to do with the vaccine, and it wasn't. And then my hormones were all playing up, and the blood results sort of proved that as well. And then I got tested for mini strokes, and I went to neurologists and on all these different doctors. And they were just me, you're just a walking healthy person. And you go,
mm,
what the hell is happening? And that's one of the reasons as well, because not a lot of doctors know what happens with women's bodies either.
yeah, yeah,
And you can go to any doctor and they're going to go, oh, you're in perimenopause. And you go, okay, well, how do I deal with all of this that's going on? And they're going to go, I don't know, pass.
yeah, yeah,
That's exactly what you get.
mm,
And it's really, really sad. There's very, very few doctors that actually know even what it means. But anyway, and I sort of realized that after going through multiple layers of doctors, that I'm either going to have to fix this myself,
yeah,
knowing that I can somehow help and control my hormones in a way, or I'm going to have to just reside in the fact that I'm losing my mind. I don't remember anything, and maybe that's a blessing in disguise if I can't remember all the shit that I'm going through,
yeah,
and all the pain, my joints and my bones and everything my body's going through.
mm,
And that's when I just sort of says, I go, well, you know what? I had to sort of make that shift in my brain as well, going, I want to be in control and I don't want my hormones to control me.
mm,
And I think that was a big shift. And I think that's a big shift for a lot of women, but it takes a lot to get there for a lot of women.
yes,
Because like you say, it's a lot of women are skeptical, because how can it be that easy? It's because
mm,
the war made it so difficult,
yeah,
and um, and social media has made it difficult, and it's really actually not. And the minute you start exercising, yes, it's hard. It's hard to get. I mean, I don't always like to get sweaty after I've just done my hair,
Mm.
and my makeup, and I go, oh, no, I'm gonna have to shower again. Now I'm gonna have to do my hair again. And but it's that whole mindset of, you know what, 10 seconds actually don't get it, it doesn't get you sweaty. It
Yeah.
actually just makes you get really, really puffed.
Yeah.
And once you get through that, you sleep better, your brain works better, you calmer. I don't lose my shit, sorry for saying, at the slightest things happening around me anymore.
Mm.
Things that used to trigger me constantly for either in tears or angry or frustrated. I'm a much calmer and more pleasant person to be around.
Mm.
Um, I so you sleep better, you eat better, you make better choices in food.
Mm.
Um, just by doing that, your body, that's another point. A lot of women say to me, I don't have an off switch. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't
Mm.
have an off switch. And then, you know what, I was actually thinking back to, I had a very like roller coaster, teenage years back then, all through the fitness industry, going through multiple diets and bodybuilding, and you've got to really weigh your food and really
Mm.
watch your calories that you're eating. So it messes with your brain a little bit. But and I thought about it back, and I had to really, really think hard about what I went through and all the thought processes about the off switch. And I realized that is actually what happens. So when your body doesn't function properly and when you are not fit, your body is not going to realize when you're full and when you're not. The minute you start getting fitter and stronger, your body starts going, okay, I've had enough to eat. Now it's the time to stop.
Mm.
And it just happens automatically.
Mm.
And when you're hungry, your body's going to go, hey,
Mm.
I need some food, I need some fuel, because you're starting to eat high performance foods,
Mm.
because you're making your body burn fat faster and you're making your body function properly. So all the joints, it's like a car that you've just had service and you're replacing the little the fuel tank, and you replace the filter, and you just make it everything run smoother and easier, so everything's running smooth, so it's lighter on fuel. And that's exactly how your body basically works. So all
Mm.
the blood flows freer through your body, the oxygen goes where it needs to go, your little button works, your on button works, your sex drive comes back, your sleep comes back, and everything just functions better and better and better as you go on, and your mindset goes accordingly. So yes, your mindset needs to sort of step in first and then go, right, I want to make this change. And
Mm.
then everything follows from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a process, but
Yeah.
man, once you get out of there, it's good.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to try, for sure with the exercise thing, because I've always been more about, the food when I, try to get healthy. Like, I mean, I try and do like the stretching and the walking and stuff, but that's, mostly what I do. And
Yeah.
with food, I do really, really well if I eat um probably more of a carnivore kind of eating seems to help me, when I lose the sugar addiction, because I've really got that sugar addiction. But once I start putting that back in, it's like, yeah, then it just goes like, it's like,
Bullseye. Yeah.
yeah, it just, and then it can take a lot for me to get back to deciding that,
Yeah.
oh, I want to eat this way again just because, oh, I can't today, oh, I can't today. And it's like something else is controlling you. So, um, not do it today, but do it tomorrow. And, and once you become so aware of subconscious patterns and that that's not actually the, the you that wants to make that decision, but it's almost like you're just the
Yeah.
vehicle that this other being is driving. And yeah, it's interesting. It'd be an interesting experiment for sure to go, let's put the food on the back burner and try the exercise and see what difference it made to um, brain function and choices with other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So, Lynley, what made you sort of go into the sort of the whole carnivore scene?
Just I've I mean, I've played around with lots of different things over the years, and I've really noticed that that vegetables, a lot of vegetables are one of the things that, because I get eczema and stuff, you can see some like here. You know, vegetables and things seem to be the things that will set the most reactions off in me, along with wheat. So yeah, those seem to be the things that get me more than yeah, whereas meat, if I just eat meat or even dairy seems to be fine for me, which
Yeah.
is strange with skin things. And yeah, my tummy just feels so comfortable, and I just don't feel inflamed when I'm eating that way. I usually eat a little bit of fruit as well when I'm eating that way. But yeah, I just tried it because people were talking about it, and especially with you know, the skin conditions and stuff like that. So I thought I'll give it a go. But I really struggled with zero carbs, so I ate the fruit and stuff as well.
Mm.
And I have had days where I don't eat the fruit and do some fasting and everything, but I just seem to go in cycles where I will just go, oh, I'll just do this, and then all of a sudden these foods are back in, and because I'm having a treat day which turns into a treat week, and
Yeah.
then I'm back to carb addiction again, and it's yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a bit of a cyclic yeah,
Yeah.
play
So
out
do
for
you
me.
do you think do you think it's like the carnivore, like the diet that you're on, the carnivore diet, is something that you would be able to stick to for the rest of your life? Or is there would there if there are other alternatives, would you look at it, for example?
Yeah, like I'm always willing to try, you know, different things just to see what my body does, like
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the way I feel, like, you know, if I don't eat for long periods of time and then, you know, just eat dinner, feels like it would be like a good way for me to eat. Um, yeah, but it's just these experiments of just seeing
Mm.
how you feel with different things. And yeah, I don't picture myself not ever having other foods. I would see myself more like if you know, if I decided that meat and fruit and dairy was my ideal diet and what I, you know, released weight with well, and then could stay on, I still would imagine that I would like to have periods of time where, oh well, I'm going out for dinner or I'm having these things, or you know, so these other things might still come in, but it would be sporadic rather than um, you know, go through the
Yeah. Yeah.
addiction
Yeah.
phases of it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's very fascinating. Yeah, the eating part of the world has taught us that abs are made in the kitchen and all these things, and I'm going to be very, very against all of that. I'm going to say no, it's not actually,
mm,
because like you just said, if eating is so individualized, it's so like no nutrition. I went to nutritionists and dietitians after with all this in the last 5 years, and I've been to dietitians at the age of 16. And I'm going to tell you this little thing that the dietitian said to me: you've got to eat an apple a day, but you're not allowed to eat a red apple. You're not allowed to eat a yellow apple. You need to eat a green apple because it's got the least amount of calories. So that's the
mm.
one that you need to eat. I hate green apples. If anybody gave me a green apple to eat now, I would possibly throw them with it
Yeah.
because of that situation. So
Mm,
I would never tell anybody what to eat and how to eat. But what I do know is that you eat what you like, and you eat for performance instead of, and when you eat, enjoy it. Like
yes.
food is so much there to just enjoy and pleasure. We example, we got given a bag of little chocolates, and the kids and I were sitting, my partner's away on business, and the kids and I were sitting tonight, and we said, okay, right, so we'll split them according to color, and then we're going to each try one and see how they taste like. And so we all tried one. It's like, yep, it tastes like hazelnut. And we all tried the next one. Yep, tastes like hazelnut. And by then we decided, no, they were going to taste like hazelnut, and we
Mm,
didn't want any more because we didn't enjoy it.
mm,
Um, so, and that is where you get to if your body gets strong and your body gets fit and your mind gets fit.
mm,
And that's ultimately why we exercise, is for those things, is because we
mm.
want our brain strong. And how do we get our brain strong? Is to get our muscles strong. How do we get our muscles strong? Is to get our endocrine system strong. How do we get our endocrine system strong? Is to exercise. And all these things just flow, flow, flow. And then the eating, at the end of the day, you're going to feel exactly when it's a high performance food. You're going to feel when it's not. You're going to feel when it serves you and it serves your goal, and you're going to feel when it's not, like exactly what you just
Yeah.
said. So,
Mm,
yeah, but food is such an individual thing
yeah.
according to each person. There's no 80-20 anything,
Yeah.
unfortunately, like the social media and the world says. It doesn't work
Yeah.
like that.
No, it really doesn't seem to,
Yeah.
and yeah, especially, when I just first discovered how much, some vegetables were affecting me, it was, yeah, it's kind of, my brain didn't want to believe that, because we're told everything should be vegetables, and we, like, should have so much, and then when I realized they weren't actually doing me that much good for my body, it's just like, well, yeah, it almost puts you at odds with yourself, because all these things you thought you knew what health was, like,
Yeah.
it's, you're only healthy if you eat lots of vegetables, and it's like, oh well, actually my body doesn't like them. And it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, or yeah, or too many of them,
Yeah.
particular ones. Yeah, so it is fascinating, and I feel like, you know it's a beautiful time really on these perimenopause journeys to start looking at all of these everything that's come in that's conditioned us, everything that we think that we know, and who we've created, the women that we've become, is, through all this outside conditioning, and it's actually quite fun to start breaking down, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, these falsities and misunderstandings of truths that aren't necessarily true for ourselves, whether it's the food that we eat, what we think we like, the house we want to live in, the job we want to do, what we think success is, what it looks
Mhm.
like. Yeah, there's so many things that just start to, I don't know, my things feel like a little tap tap tapping. It's like, is this what's, yeah, it
Yeah,
just, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I agree so with you.
Mm,
Um, we were looking when I started my personal training, just an example of that, when I started my personal training, um, that they say to you, you need to think about how many hours you're going to work. So some people say, 20 hours. This can be in any business or, career or whatever you want. What do you want that to look like? And you can decide that you want to work for 20 hours a week. You can decide you want to work for 40 hours a week. And then you know what? There's people that actually work 120 hours a week and they actually don't care because they just love what they do.
yeah.
There's no set rules for any of
Mm,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, and unfortunately, if you go by what social media nowadays is telling us, you're gonna, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, I keep going back to what I do know, and it's about, how do you become strong to fight all these things and get strong within yourself? How do you make your own brain strong? How do you make your body cope with that? We all hear of cortisol,
Mm,
the fight and flight hormone. How do we get our body to get stronger coping with fight and flight? Um, you need to put it under stress.
mm,
How do you do that? Through exercise. It's the best way because it releases all these good hormones, and it gets your body ready for anything life throws at you.
mm,
And I can't help. I think about your eczema. I used to get extremely bad eczema, all my inner arm, my inner thighs. basically in the creases of my body,
Mm.
really. And they couldn't figure out for me whether it was any food. So you're pretty lucky to sort of narrow it down to the foods that you eat. And I used to be a dancer as well. And in the dancing, if you start sweating, you've got eczema, you probably know this, it
Mm.
starts burning really, really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out a way, and this is going back when I was a teenager, and it started coming back just in my 40s.
Mm.
And I thought back and I went, hang on a minute. Why all of a sudden in my 40s, I haven't had eczema for years and years, and now all of a sudden it's back.
Yeah.
What's changed? And I realized, um, and obviously the first thing you do is you go and Google stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is this? Why is it? And Google will throw anything back at you that you want to hear. Because whatever you put into Google is like your brain. Whatever you put into your brain, you get back. I'll get you that's a whole nother thing
Yeah.
you'll see in my post this week coming up. Anyway, so I had to go back and really, really think about what's happening in my body because of this eczema. And I realized that I haven't really put my body under stress, and that was part of this whole journey in the last few years again, how to get my body strong enough to cope with the stresses in life, to
Mm.
cope with all these things. Um, I don't know if you've heard of myokines. So myokines, have you heard of myokines before? I don't know. No.
No.
Okay. So myokines is like a protein molecule that gets released in your body through it's like it goes into your muscles and it gets produced in your muscles and gets circulated into your body. It's part of the whole stress response. And it sends messages to your body to, hey, there's a lot going on here. Next time when she's under this much stress, whether you're exercising, and exercise really helps with this, it sends messages to make her stronger for the next time. And this helps in her brain, this helps in your body, this helps in your muscles, this helps in your bones and your organs and your entire body. It goes in your brain, everything, and it helps fertilize your brain, your fertilizer and your brain neurotropic factor sends all that stuff right back through your body. So it actually makes your body stronger.
Mm.
And that's what happens when you exercise. So when you exercise, all these little myokines gets released, and next time you do it, you're going to get stronger.
Yeah.
When you deal with stress and the cortisol response gets released, and you decide you need to decide whether you're going to run or fight,
Yeah.
what happens? The myokines go, hey, hang on a minute. We've actually prepared for this because we're now stronger than last time. We know what to do. We know how to deal with this. You're either going to fight or you're going to fight again. And if you fight and you fight and you get stronger, next time we're going to get even
Mm.
stronger. And that's how you
Yeah.
build, and you get stronger every time. But that's not just physical activity helps with that, yes. But when it comes to your brain, and when it comes to dealing with life stuff, and when it comes to dealing with the stresses of kids and helping them, if I just look at the stuff that my kids have gone through and
Mm.
that I've had to help with them, there were nights that I couldn't sleep because I was so worried.
Yeah.
And especially in their little lives, and how do I teach them to cope with stresses and all the stuff that they need to? Well, it's hard these
Yeah.
days with social media and comparing and all just this stuff going on. How do I teach them to be stronger and how to deal with stress better? And it's all this fitness stuff that I've been talking about. And my eczema have gone. I have not used any creams. It's not back again. It's again gone. And I've realized that it comes back when my fitness routine sort of slopes down and I let other stuff take priority. Um, so there's just a commitment that I need to, in order for me to take care of everything else around me, I need
Mm.
to take care of myself first. And I so wish that for all women out there to
Yeah.
just take that 4 minutes a day and just just take care of themselves first. It's like brushing your teeth, 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night. Just take care of yourself first and then take care of the rest, because you'll be stronger and fitter and stronger and better for the world around you if you do that for yourself first. And it's such a great example for your kids.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just wish that for all women
Yeah.
out there. And I just wish they just know how powerful they actually are, and how strong they are, and how much stronger they can be.
Mm.
Yeah, if they just spend some time with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it's a really powerful message to bring our conversation to a close, is what you just said. And, I'm really focused on, the spiritual and psychological aspects of perimenopause. And I think, the conversation that we've just had does bring that different aspect of, that these simple acts, as well as all of my contemplations and different things that I do, then the simple act of adding a routine, such as this 4 minute of doing hard these hard things and strengthening our bodies, can make such a difference to these psychological explorations as we move through on these journeys. So yeah, I'm excited to I'm feeling inspired to get some, yeah, well, just start. So thank you. And yeah, and I'll pop your Facebook links and everything in our chat, so people can have a look at your page if they want to see what you
Oh,
offer
thank
and
you.
do. And thank you so much for speaking with me today. And
Oh, thank you for having
yeah,
me and talking to me and sharing your story. That's so brave and courageous. So thank you.
yeah, thanks, Marianne.